What would you do if a family trip, painstakingly planned and paid for by you, was sabotaged by your own wife, simply because she decided one of your children wasn't worth including? In today's story, our protagonist's choice is a masterclass in how to handle it. The situation was, to say the least, messy. Mark, 42M, have two sons, Alex, 16, and Liam, 14. Their mother passed away 5 years ago, and I remarried my wife, Sarah, about a year ago. Sarah frequently expressed her adoration for both boys, yet I often heard her complain about Liam being overly uptight and closed off. It's true, Liam has always been a private child, preferring his own company and often choosing not to participate in many family functions, but that's just his nature. Sarah, however, took this personally. She constantly insisted that Liam clearly disliked her or didn't enjoy spending time with her. This personal interpretation led to a troubling pattern. She began actively excluding him from events, using the excuse, he wouldn't be interested anyway. This was deeply concerning to me, especially as Liam started to pick up on it, his young voice asking, why? I had to intervene. I told Sarah that her role was to offer him the choice, to include him in the invitation, and to let him decide for himself, rather than outright excluding him. She doesn't adore both your boys, I recall reading in a comment, a sentiment that resonated deeply with me later. She clearly doesn't like Liam, and would prefer to just not have to deal with him. There's no other reasonable explanation for her behavior. I had been meticulously planning a family trip, arranging every detail myself, and footing the entire bill. Days ago, I had finally booked the tickets and hotel reservations after we had decided on our destination. The excitement was palpable in the house, a rare moment of unity and anticipation. Then came the day of the trip. The luggage was packed, the car was ready, and the boys were buzzing with excitement. As I was doing a final check of the arrangements, a cold dread washed over me. Liam's ticket. It was cancelled. My mind reeled. Who could have done this? My heart sank as I discovered the shocking truth. It was Sarah. I confronted her immediately, the anger simmering beneath my calm facade. Her explanation was a flimsy veil over a cruel act. I figured Liam wouldn't want to come, she claimed, but I knew, and she knew, that Liam had explicitly said he would go. She then tried to rationalize her actions, arguing that due to his moody personality and introvert nature, he would either change his mind last minute or, worse, turn the entire trip into a miserable experience for all of us. The audacity was breathtaking. My fury erupted, especially when she tried to pressure me into leaving him with his aunt. At that moment, Sarah made a foolish decision, completely unaware that this single act would lead to her own downfall. This reveals Sarah's greatest fatal flaw, her short-sightedness and her inability to prioritize the well-being of all family members, which ultimately sealed her fate within our family unit. Without a second thought, I canceled everything, all tickets, all reservations, the entire trip. The joy in the house instantly evaporated, replaced by a stunned silence. Sarah blew up, her face contorting with rage as she began lashing out at me. I calmly instructed the boys to unpack their bags, and I began to do the same. This sent her into a frenzy. She went crazy, yelling at everyone in the house. The cacophony of her anger echoed through the halls as she stormed out, going to stay with her sister. She then proceeded to expose my actions to the rest of the family, who, to my dismay, largely sided with her. They thought I had made an enormous deal out of it and shouldn't have cancelled the trip I had promised the whole family. Your wife is an AH, and cancelling the trip was the right thing to do. A comment I later read affirmed, cutting through the noise of family disapproval. Your son is 14. He lost his mother and then had to adjust to you getting remarried. I am planning another trip, this time just with my boys, without Sarah. But for now, there's a huge conflict within the family, and even Alex is upset, blaming Liam for what happened. My immediate goal is to get everyone to calm down, then we'll see where things go. I decided to speak to Alex privately, to understand exactly why he blamed Liam. When he came home, I took him into a separate room, creating a space where he could share his side without interruption. It turns out, Sarah had poisoned his mind. She told him I cancelled the trip because Liam had changed his mind last minute and that I had decided to cancel it for everyone, even fighting with her when she tried to convince me to go anyway and let Liam stay with his aunt. I was speechless. This is just, I don't know what to say, to be frankly honest. I remember thinking. Alex didn't even want to talk at first, but I insisted we needed to. The damage was already done, he and Liam weren't speaking to each other because of this lie. I'm struggling to clean up this mess. I had actually considered calling Sarah, but after discovering her deceit, I realized I needed more space from her than she apparently needed from me. My priority now is to get the boys to sit down together and talk this out. As difficult as it might be, only then can I focus on the much larger issue I have with Sarah's actions. The core lesson here is that trust, once broken, is incredibly difficult to mend, especially when it involves the well-being of your children. What would you do if your partner actively tried to exclude one of your children from family life?